Make sure you are subscribing. A big game on Sunday, George. Man United host Tottenham. You must be supremely confident of coming to Old Trafford and beating Man United with the way we performed last night against FC20.
I love the way you've worded that. I've definitely been confident. I can't even lie. From straight after the Arsenal game, my head was on a swivel. First thing I thought about, I said, Man United in 2 weeks. That's going to make me feel better. We're going to go to Old Trafford, the Reds, as they said, and we're going to leave with something. Definitely, after I watched that performance yesterday, you know what? I feel like it's the story of Man United this season. First half, really impressive. I actually liked what I saw. You're breaking them down. You create chances. And you look all right. I genuinely thought Man United looked all right. But Man United always come out the second half as a completely different team. The midfield is an absolute joke. It's just a joke at this point. Because for Ten Hag to not have fixed that issue after, I don't know, 26 months into his tenure, I don't know what's going on. He's tried every combination in there. And to be honest, the one denominator is Bruno Fernandes. I know you hate to hear it, Terry, but it is like I see Bruno in there, and it's time and time again, hero ball. The guy thinks he's Kevin De Bruyne, but he's not. You're not that player. You've not got that source. You can't make those passes. Every time I'm seeing him trying to play the ball over the top, trying to do a long pass, trying to switch it, and it's just failing. It's going wrong, and yeah, man. Like I looked at the performance yesterday, and I was impressed with Eriksen. I think he's been good in a couple games. Kobe, he tends to maintain a good level, but Manchester United definitely have so many issues on the pitch that I'm feeling confident going into this game. Obviously, Spurs play tonight, so I need to see how my team performs, and I need to build some confidence from this game because I don't think Karabag are any pushovers, but it's one that I'd expect for us to leave as winners. But Manchester United, man, like, I'm not worried. I just say that I'm really not worried. The attack I'm not scared of the attack. I'm not scared of your defense. And I know that you're going to give us chances.
Ram, I'm going to come to you in a second. I want to say this about Bruno. Bruno Fernandes should be dropped from the team right now. I absolutely concur that he has not been performing. What I reject, though, is that he is the one common denominator, because when he's missed games or been on the bench for games, we've had exactly the same issues. And Man United have gone through this for 11 years. We did it with Pogba. Oh, get Pogba out, we'll get better. Get Fellaini out, we'll get better. Rooney's past it, Sterling will get better. We've done this to so many people. Bruno isn't the problem. He is in bad form right now, and he shouldn't be starting games. That I concur with. But the issue in our midfield is the manager doesn't have the right structure. So Eriksen has been really good in the last few games. He made a mistake towards the goal, granted, but one mistake I don't think undoes the same as scoring a screamer doesn't mask a stinker of a performance. One mistake from a midfielder doesn't undo all the good things somebody did in the game. He looked better against Crystal Palace. Barnsley. We looked better for large parts against Southampton because what the manager did in those games, he made us compact in and out of possession, which meant there's players next to Eriksen, so you don't have to worry about his lack of physicality, which, by the way, he's never had. He's never been a player that can run fast, powerful. You've got to put him in the right system. But then what our manager does is you go into the game against FC20, and suddenly it's open warfare. Ugarte's all exposed by himself. Bruno's over there. Eriksen's there. So different from the Palace game. That, for me, is a managerial instruction. Without a shadow of a doubt, the manager is instructing him to do something different. So suddenly then we go from Crystal Palace away as a hard game. And we all know it's a hard game. We dominated the ball. We had the majority of the chances, and we should have absolutely slapped them. They had a couple of opportunities late themselves, but we should have slapped them. Finishing let us down. If we structure that way for every game we play, yesterday's 1-1 doesn't happen. FC20, people go, we need better players. We do. But FC20 had Ricky Van fucking Warswinkle playing for them. FC20 don't have better players than Man United. Southampton don't have better players collectively. Brighton don't have out-and-out better players than us in every single position. Fulham don't. Last season, Burnley don't. Sheffield United don't. Forget the big-name teams. We get outclassed in the midfield because of our structure by nearly everybody. And you know, Europe, one win in our last 9 European games. Some of those games, by the way, Bruno played in. Some of them he didn't. Some of them Casemiro played in. Some of them Casemiro didn't. Some of them Ugarte's had in. Well, one he's been in. Some he hasn't. Mainu's played in some he hasn't. It's not about individuals. It is about the structure of this team. And you guys should feel confident. If you get the Man United performance against Palace with some finishing, we can beat you. There's no doubt we have the ability to. But if you guys are lucky enough to get the first half against Southampton, the Liverpool game, the second half against FC20 as examples, you are battering us.
The thing is, Terry,
through us. And we have no idea as Man United fans, because of our manager, what team's turning up. We are so inconsistent. That's the only consistency.
But that's worked for you.
It's mad.
Time in and time out against Spurs. And that's the one thing that worries me, is whenever we play you and you get a result, it's always when Man United are in horrible form. You guys are on a run of game where you always literally draw, loss, draw. And it's one of those games where Ten Hag needs a big performance against Spurs. He needs to turn up. And then somehow, some way, United get a point, or they beat us 2 seasons ago. Last year, they didn't get it. But it happens. Like, Man United have these performances. And the fact that you're at home, it gives you that little leeway. But no, you are right. The structure and everything's a mess. And I definitely think we can take advantage of that. And we can kill you guys. But if you take your chances...
Sorry. Before I go to the rest of the panel, I'm going to say this, and I do hope my internet cuts out when I'm saying this, but in my heart of hearts, I want to lose against Tottenham.
And
I say that because I've been for like ages. And the reason I say it is this. When I say that, I feel dirty. When I say that, it cracks my soul. It's like hearing my children cry. It hurts me. I don't like it. The problem is, my belief is this. Now, first of all, other United fans are hearing go, you should never want your team to lose. And as a general rule, I get it and understand it. And I remember Lies saying this on the Terrace 2 or 3 years ago, and he got cooked for it. And I didn't agree with him. I was like, no, you can't want your team to lose. But we beat Spurs. And it prolonged the inevitable, and it kept Ollie here a few more weeks, which led to more embarrassing results and problems. In reality, I don't want Man United to lose football matches. But I don't believe Ten Hag is going to turn us around and ever make us a consistent team in the league. I don't believe he's going to do that. So therefore, playing well against Tottenham and beating them, even worse than that, playing averagely and nicking it, is not a good thing for Man United. Now, if you believe that Ten Hag can turn this around, I understand thoroughly why you have a different view and a different opinion. But I just think the body of work is there. I think the evidence is there. This manager, in my humble opinion, is never going to make us a consistent team in the Premier League. And I've said this on a few shows recently, and I'm going to end by saying this. The pinnacle is not just winning trophies. Not when you're finishing 8th in the league. Not when you're not competitive in Europe. Winning a trophy like the FA Cup is amazing individually. But if you're bang average in the league and you're inconsistent in Europe, explain how that's the pinnacle. Now, I know we're at the beginning of a rebuild with Ineos, and I know that the squad is some way off from being good enough to win the Premier League. None of that I disagree with. But we have been consistently under Ten Hag, because of his structure, outplayed and outclassed by relegation fodder and bang average minnows in Europe for the best part of 18 months to 2 years. And I don't see any evidence or any examples of a manager with the experience he has, the length of time in the job, the investment he has been given, and with the quality of players that he possesses, ever be this inconsistent and turn it round. So I throw this out there now to anyone kicking off at me for saying, I just want him gone. So if losing gets us that, it's great. Show me the example of a manager with his experience at a club the size of Man United, who's had this much time with the quality of personnel that he's got, who has been this inconsistent across every competition, and has turned it around and made their team serial title challengers and winners, Champions League winners, or at least challengers. Show me the litany of examples where this has happened, and I will get on board with you. If you can't do it, you are deluding yourself.
Terry, I don't think this is the game that's going to get him sacked. They're going to view Tottenham as a worthy adversary or a team that has some quality. If you were even Aston Villa, I think it would have to be a Brentford battering for them to be like, open their eyes. I think it would have to be, as Staffy was putting in the group chat, Bodo Glimt doing a job on you guys before they say something crazy. I think
highly likely.
The way that they've backed Ten Hag in the summer, I don't know if they're going to twist that quickly. But that's just me looking from the outside looking in. This game specifically, though, going into it, Tottenham haven't been playing that well either. Like, let's be honest, they beat Brentford, but they haven't been playing that great either. I do think both of your sides are very susceptible to counters, very susceptible to conceding many goals. And away from home, Tottenham only picked up 1
Can
point
you
so
just
far this
expand on
season.
how Tottenham haven't been playing good? Because if you watched up, the performances haven't been bad at all. So what do you mean?
Yeah, your performances haven't been bad, but you guys have had all the ball, have been walking around the goalpost the whole time, but couldn't score versus Newcastle to get you guys a winner. Couldn't score versus Arsenal to get you guys a winner. And Brentford, let's be honest, you put them away 3-1, but it was a closer game.
You told me yourself that you watched the highlights that game. It was not close.
I didn't watch the full game.
It was not a close game.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. James Maddison scores at the end. It was a closer game than the 3-1. You guys battered them in possession.
No, Agal. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you finish there. You cannot sit there and say you didn't watch the game and then say the game was closer than it should have been.
1 second. Teams with more quality can punish you. And I think this game has draw written all over it. I think it's going to be a high-scoring draw. I think it's going to be both of you guys scoring out the gates. And then later on in the game, it gets cagey, and the team that's leading is going to try to play defensive, and they're going to get hit, and it's going to end up similar to what happened with Arsenal Man City over the weekend, where it ends up one team trying to go for the winner, the other team just trying to hold on. And I don't think either of you have the quality to shut out the games if you need it to go your way.
I think there's a lot riding on this for both managers. We haven't had a positive result against Big Six since this time last September. And what George was saying earlier about whenever we're playing Man United at their absolute worst, they somehow pull a result out. Every time Ten Hag's career is on the line, someone saves him, whether it's Scott McTominay, whether it's Rashford, someone will pull a rabbit out of the hat for that guy to keep him in the job for one more month. And I think if he beats us, I look at the fixtures and the run of games he's got, they're not horrendous for us. If we get a comfortable performance tonight, which isn't an easy task, I think we will go and beat Man United at Old Trafford, because I think if we get a goal early, they've got to come out against us, and we just dominate them with pace.
Hang on. What do you mean we? You support Arsenal?
Oh yeah. Well, apparently I'm Harry Talks Liverpool now. Because I was giving Liverpool some praise. Apparently I'm Harry Talks Liverpool, but I think with tonight, I think Ange will heavily rotate. I think you'll see Bergvall start. I think Mikey Moore will get some minutes. I think Lancashire will come off the bench and get some minutes. I don't think you'll see Romero in the back four. I think it will be Van der Ven and Dragoost in.
He's suspended.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Back
yeah,
from
so
2 years ago, Champions League, crazy man.
I think you might see 4 or 5 changes, but we need to get off.
Why is he suspended? Yellow cards.
He got a red card against AC Milan. In the knockout rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's your wafer, isn't it? So it carries over. But I think he'll heavily rotate tonight. We need to get off to a good start. Lazio had a good result last night. I think they won 3 or 4-0. And this, Ange just come out and in his press conference and said, the Europa League, we want to win it. He's the first manager I will put out in a long, long time to say the objective is to win the competition, not to compete. The amount Conte said compete, Jose said compete. If he's coming out and saying he wants to win it, then play a strong enough team to get a result every single Europa League game. But this Man United game, I think if we don't beat Man United at the current state they are now,